All right, guys, we're back. It's been a little layoff here. We got my man AJ Rivera back in the saddle. How about we're here, the Notorious 508 podcast. Um, we mess with Connecticut quite a bit. I love the fighters down there. So we're gonna bring up my guy Laurent Humes here. Um, I've three times now I've seen you walk into that ring and crush someone. So we're gonna get to that tonight. As always, AJ, thank you for coming through. Laurent, thank you for coming through. Um, AJ, tell me what you've been up to. What's going on?
So a lot. Just day by day, taking it day by day, getting ready for the show. Um, just had a whole academy probably like a month ago. Um, so I had lot of stuff going on. Wanted to bring something good for 2023. We got a good start off the summer show. Had to go in Springfield. I would say probably like 90% of the card is Springfield guys. Um, so it's always good when we get to go back and forth and give guys a little bit of their hometown. Laurent's first time fighting for us, not in Springfield, was the last show. He was over there at the Palladium, showed
Yeah,
out. How'd you like the Palladium, Laurent?
Shit was dope. It was dope. I ain't gonna lie. The walkout went by fast because that shit was going through the crowd. That was different. I like that.
Word. A lot of fighters like it. They like because everyone's looking one way at the Palladium. Everyone's like all eyes on you, rather than all around the ring.
Yeah.
Everyone could pretty much just look at you. Boom.
now it's funny you bring
So,
that up because in the promo, I gotta say, it had to be one of the top five live walkouts I've seen was yours when you came out with the mask and the purple. That's why I
oh
put
yeah,
that
that
on
was
the
like,
promo because that I in my mind I was like, oh man, this dude, and you meant it. So what I wanted to ask you was, where was that idea from? Where did
It originated from Danny Garcia. I was like, you know what? I don't feel like wearing a mask. When my ideas when it comes to like it comes like I was like, oh, I want to do that.
yep,
I want to do that. So it's never like it's just whatever pops in my head is what I go with.
I I loved it. I loved it. I know. I think the other time that I saw you walk out was when and I put it on the promo you with your team. Well, I think it was Framingham when Denzel fought the last time I saw him at I think it was Chuck's show. But you came out and your crowd was crazy, dude. They're like your guys were bananas, and they're like that. I remember that. I was there
Yep.
with McNeely when we took McNeely to the show with us.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but I remember you crushed a dude there too. That was insane too, man. So um, phenomenal. Walkouts, it's hype. It's entertainment. The crowd wants to see something good. I love it. I love the ideas. What do you got coming up?
For my walkout.
Yeah, let's go. Like a leak something. Give me something.
I'll tell you this though. I was gonna do something totally different, but the time management for that it didn't work out how I wanted to. But I was gonna do something real different. But I don't even want to tell you what it is because I'm gonna do that another time.
Okay. All right.
So
I mean, it's about a week away. We're a week away, so let's go.
let's
I'm looking forward to it.
4 days till weigh-in, 5 days till fight time.
Let's
yeah,
go. Let's
got
go.
out of it. My weight's looking real good. I feel real fucking good.
I was gonna ask you, so we'll let the fans know a little bit about you a little bit. You're a really football player turned boxer, right?
Nah, no, not really. I mean, you could body frame seems like that way, but nah, not really. I wasn't really like fully committed to football like that.
So
I
how'd you get into boxing?
I was always a boxing fan. I remember before like when Mayweather would fight, I'd have to wait till like because we were young, we couldn't afford pay-per-view. I'd have to wait to like see it on the bottom of ESPN how Mayweather won. I've always been a fan of boxing since I was little.
Okay.
I've
And
been
so
watching for.
So when's the first time you got to step into a gym, actually train and spar and say like, oh, this is what I want to do?
So believe it or not, I started boxing pretty late. I started at 19. 19.
Damn.
You know? And I'm a quick learner. That's what it is. I'm a quick learner. So like I'm still learning a lot. And then like I'm actually surprising people how I'm like started from way over here, and people are like, damn, like I remember when you were like, I'm like, they're like surprised. I'm like, I'm not, because I already know what it is, how I feel about it.
Okay. Word. So what were you doing before then?
What I was doing before that, I went to college. I got a 4-year degree, and while I was in college, I was doing amateur fighting, but it wasn't really like so serious because I was working full time at Hampton County at the time and full time in school and still fighting amateur. So it's like, what, how much you really dedicating to that? But I was like, as soon as I'm done doing this, I'm gonna be full time in boxing. So that was my plan from the jump.
Okay. All right. How'd the first few amateur fights go?
First fight, I won by stoppage, and then I went on like a few losing streak. But then that whenever like when I lose or I don't have a good sparring, it helps me, it makes me want to go harder and work harder.
And then what happened, or like how did it go about where it's like you've probably only been fighting a couple years. What makes you guys sit down and be like, all right, let's just turn pro?
Um, so let's see. I know. So I did golden. I did Golden Gloves 3 times. I won it 2 out of 3 times. And then after my last Golden Gloves, um, regionals and lost regionals, like, all right, that's enough of that. 'Cause I'm already older. I was like, all right, let's go pro and get the more experience while fighting professional.
Okay.
And I feel like as a pro right now, I'm moving pretty good. Like moving, like getting good fights. Like I'm not like fighting guys I know I could just like completely wipe out. Well, thanks to you, because now that I like when I'm fighting with you, is like better, and I like fighting better competition because it brings better out of me. You're gonna see better version of me with better competition. To be honest,
I'll say
Okay.
that too. Like I've noticed there's a couple of guys that like the way guys come up. So I'm guessing that you weren't fighting when you were a kid. You don't seem like an angry person.
I
You
was
don't.
always a little scrapper, so I ain't gonna lie. I was always a little street fight scrapper type of dude.
I get that. I get that. But I don't, and I haven't in the ring sense like anger, and I mean that in a good way. Meaning, you look like technical when you're in there. You're not throwing. I mean, you're throwing power, but you're throwing. I think it was the last. Was that Springfield the last one? Well,
No, it was Worcester. It was at the Palladium.
that
I don't
was
really fight anger.
yes. Yeah, I'm saying like you almost fight with a smile, and like your like physique allows you, and your stamina allows you to
Yeah.
just you're ahead of the game. That's what I noticed though. But I like there's angry fighters. So the first YouTube fight that I pulled up, not gonna lie, I was a little pumped because it was my footage. You fighting Zapata and Bobby fought Zapata, and that dude, like he could, he looks like he could kill somebody on some of the haymakers that guy throws, man. And
That fight actually, I fought angry, and actually
that's what I'm saying. Like
that fight, I was pissed off. And when you fight like that is when you get hit a little bit more. So I took some unnecessary. So that fight, I was upset. That fight, I ain't gonna get into deep.
What?
Pissed off. I was like, this is gonna get it. It was just a whole lot of other shit going on, and then I went in there and I was taking some unnecessary shots.
he
But
made
that's what
Bobby mad too. He made Bobby like that guy is
Yeah.
dangerous. Like he's
That
got.
guy, I've used that guy 3 times now, and I wouldn't put him in with just anyone if I didn't have confidence in you. Like he's not one of those guys I would put in with my pro debut. He's
Right.
not one of those guys that I would put in with my 4-0 or 5-0 unless I knew my 4-0 or 5-0 is he's like that because that dude is just I heard it from Kendrick Ball. I heard it from Bobby. I didn't really talk to Laurent about it, but they would tell him like you could just feel his physical strength in there, even when he's
Yeah.
leaning on you.
I was like, yo, this motherfucker. I was like, yo, they need to after the fight. I was like, they need to test this nigga. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. This motherfucker
Hey,
like
look at
49
I'm
years
not,
old, more ripped up than me. Somebody
right, so
ain't no way.
that is
No, I said
phenomenal. I'm saying, like, physique wise, he was a match, but you got him. Like, that
I
guy.
ain't
I
even.
give him credit. Like, he throws
I'm not even gonna
everything
lie.
into every punch.
One time he
Like,
came down. He's a super nice guy, super
yeah,
humble guy.
yeah.
He came down here one time and he tells me he's like, I'm a few pounds overweight. This is when he was getting ready to fight Bobby, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna need you to drop that weight. So I took him to the gym. I'm watching him work out, and I couldn't help but just notice his body. I'm like, bro, like, what? I need to know, what are you actually doing for your training camps? I need to know. I need to know for me. Forget asking for a friend. I need to know for me. What are you doing? Because you're like, I think he's like 44, 43, 44.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the
And
heck?
I'm like, what? He goes, I do push-ups and sit-ups. And he goes, and I love the wheel. He does the wheel. And I'm like, that's
Hey,
not
see,
all you do.
get you your ass point though. I ain't gonna hold you.
He told me that push-ups, sit-ups, and the wheel. That's all he does. And I'm like, what? Like, that doesn't even make sense. I'm like, how'd you even get into I guess back in like, so he's from Honduras. He said he used to fight a lot in Honduras, and he moved to his first place that he moved to was in New York. And he used to get bullied and made fun of a lot in New York, and he used to have to fight in school a lot. So that's how he got into boxing. But hey, that motherfucker, I remember one time the referee went to go separate him and Kendrick, and he just threw a haymaker like over
Did
the
that
referee.
to me. He did
I'm
that
like,
to me.
yo, he gonna catch somebody sleeping
Yeah.
doing that shit.
But I'm glad he did. I was like, oh, you gotta stay woke because she goes break, break, break. Boom. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, all right. He did that to me. He does that.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're talking about this dude's 2 losses, right? And nothing but respect. Like, that's why, wins and losses. That dude's, you could tell he was a
And I
beast.
still wouldn't put him. And a lot of people will look at it and I'm like, yeah, well, Laurent did that to him, and Kendrick did that to him, and Bobby did that to him. But you're talking about guys who are either prestigious or were prestigious amateurs or are prestigious pros right now. They're not your local Joe Schmo. Like, I wouldn't feel safe unless you were at a certain part in your career putting you in with that guy, because I know what he does.
No,
But on the flip side, having Laurent fight him, I think Laurent might have only been like 4-0 when he fought him. Seeing him beat him the way that he beat him is like, okay, I got something on my hands now. Like, okay,
yeah,
now you can, okay, let's go here now. Let's go here. Because he's one of those guys that are going to bring it.
Yep.
That's not a lay down guy.
No, absolutely not. It's crazy. I give him
And he's
a
strong
ton of
as shit.
respect. Yep. I know there was a point in that fight with Bobby when Bobby was like, what? Like, what is that? Was a good fight.
Bobby told me I ain't never had somebody just like move me with their shoulder. I'm like, yeah, that dude's strong. He's like, his physical strength was just like, you could feel it in the ring. I tell
love it.
people. So now Laurent was just in Mexico. How was that experience? Talk to us about that.
It was like a week ago.
Wait, but they need to fix something because that's OD. But Mexico was good. It was good. But that dude was tough. I ain't gonna lie. He was. I mean, I say he was tough, as in he was taking some shots. Like, I'll hit him clean to the stomach, and the dude was like, keep coming. I was like, okay, I guess I got to keep hitting you with these multiple more and more so I get you down. Which I thought was they didn't even let me get to warm up. No one knows the back end of that. They didn't even get. They just threw me in. They're like, "Oh, you're up now. It's supposed to be the 4th bout." They're like, "You're the 1st bout." So I'm straight into the ring. So I was like, so in my mind, I was like, all right, let me just take my sweet time these first couple rounds, because when you're cold and you fight, that's when you can take a shot and you can go down when you're cold. So I was like, all right, let me take the first couple rounds. around, use my footwork, my jab, up and down, until I start to warm up and start opening up more. No one knows that, but that's how it went down in Mexico. And I
And
knew
you
I was
know
taking these shots.
what happened? Oh, you went mute. Yeah, yeah, there you
Why
go.
didn't you even touch it? Did y'all hear
Yeah,
any of
so
that?
Yeah, we heard that you had to mix it up. You had to switch. I was just gonna say, um, those fights are the ones that you learn from, especially early in your career, because there's already been a few times where you've said to me, "Oh, I had to adapt." You know, game plan one may have not worked. I had to switch it up to game plan two.
Yeah,
And the fact that you can do that in the middle of the ring this early in your career, that's only gonna help you.
yeah. I feel like
That
that. Me personally, I feel I'm not saying it for me because I don't want. I'm humble, but I feel like that's a gift in boxing. You got to be able to make adjustments on the fly. You can't. You can go in with a game plan, and if that doesn't work, you have to be able to do something else. And that doesn't work, you have to do something else. And might have to go
exactly.
route, go back to that route, this route. You never know what could happen in there.
Have you had to ever deal with somebody that was actually bigger than you
In an actual fight,
in
or
in the ring? Like
mm,
usually you're built like an ox, so usually dudes is not looking as big as you. Have you ever had to deal with that? Like, oh damn, this motherfucker's huge.
let me think about. Well, I fought bigger. Well, so this is the thing. You could fight a huge guy that's huge, but at the end of the day, that doesn't relate to strength. You know what I'm saying? So like for instance, Crawford, he's a skinny nigga, but he's strong as fuck. So it's like you could you could have the physique, but can you actually like me? I have the physique, but I know for most of my fights, I'm gonna be the stronger guy. That's just majority of the
Yeah,
fight. Gonna be a time someone's stronger than me, but for the most part, I'm gonna be the stronger guy in the fight. I just know that for a fact.
I
Did
always
you have
tell
to go to
people.
timeout this morning? No.
Yeah, I I know- I
There you
always tell
go.
people in
Who's
the
that?
amateurs you always know when somebody has legit strength when they're dropping or stopping people in the amateurs. That's how you know they have legit strength.
Yeah,
And you said like one of your first fights you stopped someone. I'm like, oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me because amateurs you got bigger gloves, you got headgear on.
yeah.
So when you're dropping and hurting and stopping people in the amateurs, you know that man is powerful.
Yeah.
Do you got anybody? Do you got anybody on a hit list locally?
there it is.
Well,
Mess.
no one, but my boy's taking what's his name? Number one Boston Promotions asked me about him. And I asked you about him. I forgot his name, man.
Perkins.
Yeah, but they came with some bullshit. Perkins, who else? I mean, locally, I mean, there's not much out like that's really around. I mean,
There's a good.
Perkins, they call me out on that. If you call me out, I was like, okay, we could do that.
There's a good
But
amount of 168 guys.
there's a amount. Well, Sumter, he's my boy, so it's like he's fun. Nah, yeah, never mind. Sumter's my boy. I would fight Sumter, but it would have to be like a showbox type of situation, something like that.
Tell me the mystique behind Steve Sumter, right?
Yeah,
Tell me the mystique behind this because his fight blew up on my YouTube out of nowhere. I think I only saw him fight that one time. Actually, maybe two. It was in Framingham, I believe, that night, right? Did he fight there?
yeah, he fought
Uh,
there.
so that fight blew up with views like crazy, and the other than Google, there's nothing out there. Like, what is the mystique?
He's really my boy. I talked to him a lot. I talked to him yesterday on FaceTime, and we always talked. We always laugh about it. Like, yeah, we fight each other, but it have to be like a situation where we both making a bag. It's kind
That
of
would be
like
huge. I mean, that
it
would
was,
be.
it would
Would you
have.
ever? I was gonna say, would you ever fight the dude that he just fought, Edet?
He retired. He's not fighting no more.
Oh, I heard he retired, but then I just saw a post
He
that
got,
he was like training again.
I heard I heard that he's not fighting anymore. Yeah.
How do you think that Brazilian dude? I don't know if you got to watch it. The Brazilian dude that I brought for Popeye.
A Brazilian dude from Worcester.
Worcester for the World Championship fight.
I didn't really get to. I was I didn't get to watch it because after my fight, this crazy late, I didn't really get to see it. But I heard he was tough. I thought he was Mexican.
Nah, he's from Brazil.
You deserve an award for the short term miracles. Like that dude in Springfield was amazing. Was it the Italian dude? The Italian dude you brought in for
for Anwell?
Yes. That guy it was like Rocky, basically, right? That guy didn't die.
Yeah. That's the blessing and the curse of this shit. Is just because I can do it doesn't mean I like to do it. Them last minute fucking replacements. It's like sometimes they could make or break your show depending on who the person is. And so it's like you get somebody like
Boxing, it happened.
You get somebody like Popeye who like you need him to fight, and one dude falls out, somebody's willing to step up. Unfortunately, the shitty part about it is guys know when they're a last minute replacement that their bag gets a little bit bigger too.
That's their leverage, but that's business. I can't hate it. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
But I've had a few of those where I was like, oh shit, this last minute guy might ended up being better than the first original choice that I had.
No doubt. That dude Bonwell, you won on that one. That was like,
I didn't know that was a last minute replacement.
Yeah.
On it from the jump.
Yeah. That was gonna be it was before him. I had somebody else. I forgot who it was. But same thing with Wilfredo that night when he fought the Mexican dude. The one that ended up being a no contest.
Yeah.
That was last minute. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Antonio Chavez Fernandez when he fought Ashley.
Yep.
That was last minute. So I'm hoping there's very minor upsets this Friday.
We're knocking on wood.
Very, very minimal upsets because upsets can be very heartbreaking sometimes.
No doubt. No doubt.
What so go ahead, Mike.
No, you have one loaded. Let's go.
I was gonna say, so you named Perkins for locally. Who at like a mid-tier level, like a ESPN level? We won't even go Showtime pay-per-view or national yet. We'll just go mid-tier because now you're 8-0. You're about to be 9-0. Now you start hitting those double-digit fights. Now those cards like what we saw yesterday or even Friday Broner fought. And then yesterday was the Tiafimo card. Like those undercard fights. That's some of those guys had less fights than you. So who at that level would you be looking at? Because I got one in mind.
Who you got in mind?
If I would like, if you're like 10, 11, 12-0, I would like you against Berlanga.
Oh, see, how come I knew you were going to say that?
The one rule of Shamrock Sports is you have to mention Berlanga. And I would like
because I know what style he has real problems with, and I rarely you guys haven't even seen that yet. With me, I haven't had to use it yet. So
I think that fight will be a great fight for you stylistically.
No, for sure, because no one's really seen me use footwork or anything like that yet.
A little bit, we saw a little bit with it against. It was Fidel.
If I really want to use footwork, like old school days, you really not. It's gonna be like, where this nigga at? When
Okay. So do you have one in mind?
I like Berlanga, and nah, I want to say I have one in mind. Just line them up. I don't really have anyone specific in mind.
If not Belanga, how do you think a fight with what's this dude's name? He's also 168, but he's older. Um, actually, no, wait, he's not even 168 anymore. He's actually probably fighting at cruiserweight. I was gonna say, dude from Connecticut, Chad Dawson.
He's still fighting. Chad Dawson's still fighting.
Yeah, he's still in and out of it, halfway in, halfway out.
Really, I got a box right him.
I like to see local guys that are coming take out the local legend, because that's how sometimes you can get boom, now I'm here, like a passing of the torch. Even I don't know if he's still fighting. I heard he does want to fight, but I don't know if he's still fighting. But even Peter Manfredo.
Peter Manfredo.
Dude was on the Contender.
I don't know who that is. I would have to look him up.
That seriously is amazing that you don't know who Peter Manfredo was. I swear to God. Because he was like MTV era back like, I mean, I'm old, man. I'm 44.
He was on the original Contender. He big out of Rhode Island. He's big out of Rhode Island.
His dad was big. Like,
yeah, his dad was like a kickboxer or something like that.
Hold on.
He said, I'm gonna have to look him up.
Oh wait.
I think you're back.
He's like the generation above Boo Boo.
What is going on with Boo Boo?
Unfortunately, nobody wants to fight him. He's high risk, low reward, you know? It's like he can beat all those guys, but for whatever reason, the pay scale, they don't wanna pay him what he's worth, and they don't want to pay those guys what they would want to get paid. So it's basically essentially ends up being like, I could fight Laurent for $3 million and risk losing, or I could fight you for $1 million and risk losing. Who am I gonna pick? You know?
Right. I get it.
Look at Tiafimo talking about, I'm gonna retire. They're only giving me $1 million. I'm like, you realize how fucking dumb you sound? $1 million, that's a lot of money for a fight. So what am I gonna keep fighting for? Is this for $1 million? I'm like, what?
They only paid him $1 million?
Only? You know how many fighters never even made $1 million?
I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, this is a high-end fight. But it's also not pay-per-view.
It's a high-end, you gotta remember, high-end fight, not pay-per-view, and only us boxing fans know who Josh Taylor is. I couldn't ask my mans over here. I couldn't ask a random person down the street who Josh Taylor is. People don't realize that the pay scale also depends a little bit on you as the fighter. It's not, a promoter can't cough up money that it's not going to generate. Because look at Tank and Ryan. Ryan is nowhere near as accomplished as either one of those fighters who fought, but his likeness, his marketing has made him more popular, where the average fan outside of boxing knows who Ryan Garcia is. Fair.
But damn, only $1 million though? That's crazy. I say only $1 million for that, because this is an undisputed. This is two undefeated. He's a world champion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, though, Tio did look really sharp.
Tio looked good. Tio did good. He won the belts. Now he'll probably make a little bit more, depending on who he's fighting and whatnot. But you're a guy that lost to Cambosos, and then you look like shit in the couple fights after that. You pretty much low-key lost against that dude Martin. And what'd you expect to get? It's Josh Taylor. Like I said, we know who he is, but
it's interesting. It's very interesting, but I see both sides here. It's funny. I see promoter, I see fighter, but along the way, I think there's Jake Paul era. There's guys that don't need like promoters anymore. What was that fight that you just did in Mexico?
Say that again.
What was the fight that you just had in Mexico?
What was the fight?
Yeah, it was what
That was just I want to stay busy, get more fights because originally I was supposed to fight that Mexico card in May, which I wish it was in May, but it is what it is. And just to stay sharp because at the end of the day, the more consistent and active you stay, the better you're off you're gonna be as a fighter. Like that's just.
I think that's when your fights are worth the most because that's when your health is the biggest beatdown.
That fight prepared me for this fight. I feel I'm ready. Like I'm ready there. I'm ready sharp, and I feel good. I feel comfortable. I'm just maintaining right now. I feel good. And also, it's kind of that fight was almost similar style to the guy I'm fighting, pretty much. Close to similar style.
What do we know about the who's coming up here next week?
What I know about him is Regis Progress fought him. Miguel Pachel fought him. He's got some good. He got experience with some high class fighters.
I like to go with those fighters that not only are they sneaky and they got that veteran experience, but when you got a guy who, I mean, the dude's got 26 wins and 21 knockouts. So he's got more knockouts than Laurent got fights. That goes for something that like he's gonna know just little tricks, even if it's survival tricks. Let's say he's hurt and he's holding Laurent in a way that Laurent's like, what the fuck? You know, the veterans are hard to beat, but they also kind of show you where you're at. They give you good work. So this early in your career, those veterans is really what you want to be fighting, especially guys that, like he said, fought Regis Prograis. I was looking at another dude who gave Terrence Crawford a great fight. A lot of these guys, you know, the reason why they've got that many fights is because they're tough. They can fight Laurent this week and then go take a fight elsewhere. You know, you don't really see many guys with that many fights. The dude has
it's different. It's
over
badass.
50 fights.
Absolutely. It's badass. And it's, you know, what I think guys know their stamina, their life. You know what I mean? They know what they got left. And Teofimo, if you don't think he's got, you know, he's only got that much left. That's what I see it as. You know what I mean? Like, you may as well try to get the most from what you got left. So
he's 25. You know, he's just talking.
I think.
Yeah, he's just talking.
He's on. It doesn't seem like
he's talking because what? I mean, he got a lot going on in his personal life, so I think that's also wearing and tearing on him. But I don't know. I think he's trying to secure himself like a big. Oh, you want me to come out of retirement? Make it worth my while. I got the belts. Y'all need me. Unless you guys are gonna sit around and wait for the 90 days before he has to relinquish them or whatever. You know, by then he'll get a fight. They'll put him in with Ryan Garcia or Rolly Romero. One of those fights that are not super big, but it's big because you know who these guys are.
And then he'll get paid. Shut up.
Yeah. What's crazy is Ryan and Rolly will both make more money if they fought each other as opposed to if they fought like anyone else.
Yeah, that's true.
Who does Ryan come back against?
Probably somebody that, because he's just coming to 140. They're gonna probably put him against someone that it's gonna get him accustomed to going back to 140. I see that happening at the fighting team. Because he's young, they want to still make money with him, so they're not gonna go and throw him with a wolf.
Unless they know they could beat that wolf. Like if they really genuinely feel confident that they got Rolly's number.
They're not gonna do that. They're not doing that. I guarantee they're not doing that. He might want to.
You don't think him and Broner make a good amount of money?
That's different. That's different. I think a Broner. I got Broner winning that.
You got Broner beating Ryan right now? Whoa. I don't know about that one.
You're right. I don't know. Did you see his last fight? I didn't see it.
I did. He looked sharp. He was putting his shit together, but he doesn't got that that vicious power that he had at 135 and 130, where he was really like putting guys out. He's hitting guys with those shots and they're not going down. He's just fast and skilled and he puts his punches together. He's precise. But I don't really see him at 140, 147, he's just regular. He got a box. He got to move and box kind of like Floyd did when Floyd went to 147. Just he can't be standing there trying to bang. He didn't take the dude out. He went the whole distance.
Yeah.
So listen, we got a bunch left to talk about. I'll kick it off when we got a big subject to talk about. Physique wise, weight wise, somebody missed weight this week. Jermaine, I want to talk about how hard it is to cut weight and what actually happened. We got to cut the link because I'm always on Bootleg Zoom. So I'm going to send you guys, we're going to post it in the same spot. AJ, I'm going to send it to you in 1 minute. And we're going to break the commercial. But it's really not a commercial. So.
All right, so I'll send Laurent the link.
All right.
All right, bet.